Tonight on Newsbeat, gun violence in Louisiana has spiked. Find out what the legislatures are doing about the rising problem.
Also, the LSU Vet School is saving lives in a new facility.
Later, how one man turned his life around after turning to faith.
All this and more. Newsbeat starts right now.
Good evening and welcome to Newsbeat. I'm Elizabeth Kubel.
And I'm Derek Kopp. Thanks for joining us. Now we start today with a problem that's spreading across the nation, gun violence.
One city in particular continued to be at the forefront in gun-related crimes, and it's just down the river.
We're not trendsetters, we're actually followers here. And when we follow, we really commit to following.
At 14 years old, Amir Baraka was a follower, wrapped up in a lifestyle of drugs and guns.
The guy was selling drugs in my projects, and I was taught that that's a no-no. So we got into an altercation. He got a gun, I got a gun. I wound up killing him.
Gun violence. It's a topic all too common here in New Orleans, and one that was most recently highlighted with the death of former Saints player Will Smith.
This sort of two guys meet, have a beef, ego gets involved. Both have guns, one have guns, a friend has a gun. That's one of the major scenarios of murders in the city.
Criminologist Dr. Peter Scharf says it happens here at a rate almost double Chicago's, even though it's a less populated city. He says in 2015, about 20 per 100,000 people were murdered in the Windy City, compared to the 40 per 100,000 in New Orleans.
I don't think there's a cutoff unless we first put fathers back into the household and we teach emotional control, conflict resolution.
Baraka spends his time mentoring kids, teaching them to stop the violence.
It's an honor to kill. It's a badge of respect, but it's completely erroneous information.
Once part of the problem, Baraka says he now hopes to be part of the solution. Elizabeth Kubel, Tiger TV.
Now, breaking news regarding this story, Will Smith's killer was indicted this afternoon by a grand jury. Cardell Hayes is indicted for second-degree murder, attempted second-degree murder, aggravated assault, and aggravated criminal damage. Hayes is accused of fatally shooting the Saints' former defensive end on April 9th. Officials don't know exactly what happened leading up to the deadly shooting, but they did confirm Smith was shot in the back 8 times.
Now the Louisiana legislature proposed more than 40 changes to the gun laws. Some changes include banning weapons in public parks, raising fines for criminals and illegal weapons, and after the multiple movie theater shootings, the legislature added a requirement for metal detectors in movie theaters. But not all Louisiana residents think guns should be seen in such a negative light.
That's just part of the allure. I know people that have moved to the state because the gun laws are just easier to deal with.
Ford's Firearms also holds a monthly seminar called Roundtable to show gun history and promote gun education for people of all ages.
Caring for the elderly is a job that requires a kind heart, and the West Baton Rouge Council on Aging is the kindest of all. With their new program, Meals on Wheels, the council supplies a meal service to the elderly by bringing food straight to their door. But this council gives more than just meals. They also provide quality time with each person. The Council on Aging is a nonprofit organization set on improving the lives of the elderly community in West Baton Rouge Parish. They hope to help the elderly continue to live independently by spending time with them and just lending an ear when needed.
Alliance is building a new shelter very close to LSU's campus. The new no-kill shelter is a multi-million-dollar facility located on River Road. CAA started a public campaign to raise the last $2 million needed to complete the project. If you are interested in donating or learning more about the shelter, you can visit our website, tigertv.tv.
Now, if you're heading to New Orleans, grab your rain boots and umbrellas because Jazz Fest is still on. Now, there's a 50% chance of scattered thunderstorms tonight and a 40% chance on Sunday. Tonight's major artists include Elvis Costello and the Imposters on the Gentilly stage starting at 5:30, and Flo Rida on the Congo Square stage starting at 5:50. Now, Jazz Fest will continue throughout the weekend until Sunday at 7 p.m. at the New Orleans Fairgrounds. Elizabeth, I've never been to Jazz Fest, but I'm considering this weekend. Any suggestions for me?
So in true New Orleans fashion, you can expect a ton of music, but also a ton of really good food.
The food I can do.
Yeah.
The food I can do. Now, coming up after the break, find out how one man overcame a life of drugs, alcohol, and living on the streets.
Stay tuned.
A drug addiction is a difficult thing to overcome, but for one local man, he became successful, fit, and faithful while making a new life for himself. Here's Allison Herrera with the story.
I did cocaine, I did ecstasy, I tried acid once.
Joshua Roberts was just a statistic, with all odds against him.
I would wake up in ditches. I literally woke up on the side of Perkins one time. I got left in a different state, got left in a different city. Literally like waking up in bushes at the Commons, the Crescent.
From strained family relations to partying until 5 o'clock in the morning 6 times a week, Roberts' life was upside down.
That was literally the beginning of the worst times of my life.
It was an unhealthy lifestyle many are unable to overcome and many end up dying from. But Robert's back springs from it, thanks to fitness and faith. He now heads tumbling, fitness, and acro yoga classes geared for all ages.
My favorite thing is that we get to come with our kids, because for years I've been bringing them to dance or gym, or sitting bored in the lobby, or, just basically wasting that time.
But Roberts endured a rough journey before flipping his life around. It all began when he entered college and broke up with a restrictive girlfriend.
I was 21, it was summer, and that's just when I went really, really crazy.
Roberts had his license taken away for 3 years, had nowhere to call home, and funded his next high by donating plasma twice a week.
I went there so much that whenever I got in, they'd be like, "Oh, what's up, Josh?" They had me on the VIP plan, so I got to skip the line.
Roberts' life bounced up when his good friends offered him a job coaching gymnastics. He lacked experience and carried over 50 pounds of excess weight, but jumped into the position just for some extra cash.
Gymnastics was like the first thing that I really enjoyed doing, and it made me give up a night of going out that I really enjoyed doing. So it was the first time where I chose work over going out.
Roberts eventually head-started classes for people 18 and older. He found a new sense of community in the gym he coached at, which kick-started a spark of faith. One of his clients was a man of faith and introduced him to the Healing Place Church.
Just sitting in church, went to that first service, and I was just listening. Tears were just like rolling down my face during the service. I went there that one time, and then after that, I never stopped.
Despite everyday challenges Roberts sweated through, he now pushes up from tough times and stabilizes himself.
I don't wake up and feel like a loser. I get to wake up and I feel like I have a purpose.
Just as his clients rely on him for success, Roberts' accomplishments are connected to them as well. The community of support that strengthens and conditions both the teacher and students, week after week. This is Allison Herrera reporting.
Roberts now owns his own car, a bed to sleep in, and has mended broken relationships with his family. He hopes to open gyms for underprivileged kids in the future.
From fitness to cooking, one local chef is making her dreams come true in a big way. 9-year-old Avery Kyle has always wanted to be a chef, and she recently had her time in the spotlight on Fox's hit show, MasterChef Junior. Even though the show is over, she's still cooking up a storm in her kitchen at home. And ever since the show started, she wanted to cook for the celebrity chefs. But when she was old enough, she went through all the hoops to get on the show.
The audition video, then another video of me cooking, then me going to a psychiatrist, making sure that I'm not cuckoo.
Avery hopes to one day write 2 cookbooks, one for kids and one for adults.
Coming up after the break, a local nonprofit brings a new festival to Baton Rouge.
You do not want to miss this. There's a new festival coming to Baton Rouge. The Red Stick Food Fest was created by the Louisiana Hospitality Foundation, a nonprofit organization that supports the hospitality industry.
Now, the festival will be held from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Saturday, May 7th at the LaBerge Casino and Hotel. A dozen restaurants are bringing Louisiana's favorites such as handmade meat pies, shrimp BLT po' boys, crawfish pasta, and sweet potato pecan bread pudding.
And there will also be music from local bands and free admission.
All of that sounds unbelievable.
Are you thinking about heading out there?
I absolutely could. That and then on top of the casino, I don't know how you can beat that kind of an afternoon.
I don't think you can. Well, that is all the time we have for today, but don't forget to keep up with us online at tigertv.tv.
And follow us on all social media at LSU Tiger TV. Thanks for watching and have a good night, Tigers.